name is Candace again. I am back. I'm here for story night. I hope to make this a quick story time because I want to get to sleep and get a decent amount of sleep. I think I'm on for next week for work. They approved my exemption, and so Monday I got to go in for orientation. But we'll see. We still see what happens. So I'm excited. I'm quite nervous about this new job starting it, and my coworker is hired at the same job from my last job. They call us the dynamic duo. So I'm really excited about it. It's just weird. What's the odds of like actually getting hired with your last employee at the new job? Like it was like meant to be or something, you know? So, me and my coworker, we're gonna go to the new place and see how it works out. I don't know. It's gonna be different because it's at the hospital. So tonight I wanted to do a story time on it's called Sally's Services Story Night. And I've been thinking about it for about a good week now, the story. I've been thinking about it for like a whole week. It's quite crazy but funny in a way. And it leaves you off with your own thoughts of what happened towards the end, like what happened with this whole situation or scenario with Sally's services. So it's one of those stories where it leaves you off wondering, like, what really went down? What was really going on and happening? And so I thought of the story and I figure like I'm going to try to kind of freestyle it the best way as possible because sometimes you have certain ideas you want to put in a story but you may forget to put it in there, but I'm pretty good with telling stories. But before I get to that, I need a glass of wine. So where's my wine at? It's back this way. And let me see. I haven't really drank a lot of it. Still have like a nice whole bottle over here. It's Valenzo. I like this one, Labrusca. I've been trying to look for some new wine that maybe I would like, but I don't know. I'm really picky nowadays, and I don't like things that are too sweet. If something's too sweet. If it's too sweet, I don't like it. 5 ounces. That's 4. That's 5. All right, that's good right there. 5 ounces is all Mama Candy can have. That's it. So back over there. So it's going to take a lot longer for me to drink up this bottle of wine now. Back before, I used to be able to drink as much wine as I wanted. But now, because, after my surgery, they still haven't given me clearance or like an okay that I'm good to, have more than one glass of wine. So until I hear some final answers, I'm not going far further than that. Normally, I'd like to have at least 2 6 ounces of wine, at least. So I'm just doing it in small little doses like that, as if I was at like a wine tasting festival or something. I just get very little wine in each cup. you know. So toast everybody out there. Happy Friday. And so yeah, so that's all that's been going on with me. Of course, I've been, with the baby and the kids. I'm going to be with them again this weekend, starting tomorrow night. So I got to get everything ready because, not only Sunday is the birthday party, but also is the Super Bowl party. So I'm not going to really be home too much, after Saturday tomorrow night. And then work starts Monday. So I got to make sure I have everything prepared tomorrow before I leave because what I don't want is to be rushing at the last minute to have things ready for work. So tomorrow it's going to be a busy Saturday before I leave. I do plan on doing some Bible study sometime tomorrow before I leave too, if possible. I would like to get something in. How much wine did I actually put into that cup? It don't look like I poured a lot in there. Let me see something there. Says, okay, that was 5. No. Oh, no, that's correct. Yeah, because that's 4. So we're down to We're down to 2 or almost 2 ounces here. All right. Toast again. All right. Good. It's pretty good. But is there anything else I want to get off my mind before I start the story tonight? Other than that, I guess that's it. I mean, I do want to do a story time on like EQ stream for an like an AI kind of thriller type of short story. And I like writing stories, but sometimes I can go pretty dark. I try my best. I'm like sometimes I try to be careful when it comes to stories because my mind can go really, really crazy, dark and twisted into the gutter. It can get pretty sinister. So sometimes I have to kind of control myself. But I just like let me have a fun Friday. I need to have a little fun and get a little creative with my imagination and put my imagination to work. So we're doing the story called Sally's Services Story Night. And again, I thought of this story for about a week now, and I just want to kind of tell it now. Let me turn off these lights here. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Put this up here at the candle. I don't know if there's a way I can push it in front of this. Let me move this alcohol over here. Maybe I could push it in front so you can see me at least as I'm talking. Trying to think of a way to move this on her. I don't really like alcohol in front of the candles because, I'm always funny about alcohol and candles being next to each other. I'm gonna try to move this around here. This lamp. Move you a little further down. There you go. And I'm gonna pour the rest of this wine into this glass here so I can make a little bit more room. Wow. That fit up the rest of the other 3 ounces that I have. It's a very small wine glass, but it was actually a champagne glass, but I needed to get it because, of course, So, Candace got to get into her imagination mode here for the story tonight. Sally Services. Oh boy. 49-year-old John Paul stood in his apartment as he tapped on his computer, looking desperately at the screen. Eyes wide open, in shock as he taps on the keyboards. He rubs his forehead, rubbing his receding hairline, covering the top of his bald head with the 3 strands of hairs and the side patches on his head. Typing up Pornhub. He looks upon Pornhub. He searches up OnlyFans websites. Biting his nails, he desperately taps onto the videos as he looks upon all the sexual provocative moves of all the women. But no matter how many videos he went through, he couldn't get turned on. It's the same thing over and over again. Can't get anything. Mr. John taps off and goes to the next video with another woman who appear to be getting screwed by 2 men. This is so boring. I've seen this already. Taps off the video. Then he goes to his Google search and he types in blowjobs, desperately typing in his face with such anger. Finally comes across the screen, Sally Services. And with curiosity, John looks upon, thinking to himself, should I give this a chance? Should I tap right onto this button? Let's see. Taps onto the button of the screen. As the introduction comes on and the screen opens up, there was a video that wasn't tapped on. John looks with curiosity as it was a black screen. There was no logos other than the word Sally Services. He rubs his finger around his chin as he desperately wonders what's behind the screen. And then he presses the play button. And as he presses the play button, the screen opens up and the video begins. And then there was the advertisement of Sally Services. There appeared a woman with beautiful long blonde hair down to her back, with light curls, crystal green blue eyes, mixed gorgeous eyelashes, luscious, seductive lips. And she appeared to be wearing a business attire outfit with such short black skirt. Heels were high, black, and very tall with long legs. Walking with such seriousness, but with such a seductive look. Just then, he listened to the advertisement in such awe, such obsession with her. Sally Services. He looks upon with amazed as she walks in such slow motion as the introduction kept playing over and over again. Sally Services. She fights hard. She is raw. She's tough. And she blows real hard. Get your fast instant relief. Sally Services. Because Sally knows how to blow them off. And so she looked so seductive as he sat there upon, looking around to see where the location of the site was. Call for your services now. Sally Services. 1-800-9995. Blows hard. 1-800-9995. Blows hard. She will never steer you wrong. Sally stares at the man on the screen as if she knew him personally. He started to develop all of these fantasies in his head. Lust hit at him. His mind began to go warped as he saw the beautiful blue and mixed green eyes that Sally stared at him with as the video ended. Just then, he shivered to himself, looking at the time to see what time it was, to make an appointment to go to Sally Services department. He picks up his phone, dials the number that was on the screen. Beep, doop, doop, doop. He picks up the phone. Just then, a woman on the other end picks up the line. Sally Services, how can I help you? Hi. My name is John Paul. I would like to make an appointment to see Sally. Oh, yeah. The woman chews her gum as she's typing on the keyboard. We're overly booked right now. How about we squeeze you in for 2:00 tomorrow? Would that work for you? Yeah, yes. That would very much work for me. Yeah, it will. He desperately says yes, shivering on the phone, teeth jittering with excitement as he thought of the visions of Sally's face on the screen, how she would be when he heard blew his heart in his mind. All right, we have you all set, Mr. Bond. We'll see you tomorrow, all right? Good day. Bye. Bye. He hangs up the phone, all happy and shocked, for it was night, and he knew he had to go to bed. He just wanted the day to pass so fast. John Paul slides into his bed, and as he lays his head down, he falls into a deep sleep. Just then, he had a vision of Sally in his dreams, walking into her building where it looked so professional. Her clapping her feet with her high heels, walking across, staring at him, swiping her hair around. John, would you like to come into my office? John shakes his head, yes, with no kind of voice, no kind of expression. Just then, she demands him to sit in a chair that rolled by itself. So he sits on the chair happily, and just then, handcuffs locks both of his wrists, shut down to the chair, and it moves him forward, slowly, without no touch, as he goes closer into the room that Mrs. Sally goes into. Sally opens the door, cracking it as he hears it cracking open. As he opens up, the chair moves forward into the office, and then he enters the room. And as he looks up, he sees chains from the ceilings hanging, handcuffs, black leather belts, nipple clippers, ropes, fire extinguishers, all the things that he could even imagine. And as terrified he was, he became excited. And then he saw her going into the bathroom. And the chair led him closer to the bathroom as she was walking in. John, what would you like, John? Would you like to see me in the bathroom, John? And John shakes his head and nods in agreement, looking for something new, looking for something that was exotic, something crazy, something mind-blowing out of this world. And the chair moved him closer to the door as she opens the bathroom door. Just then she turns around and she pulls out pliers with electrical wires as he sits there in fear, but yet so excited. And then she comes over, walking over to him, attaching each clip to his nipples. And then she pulls the cords over slowly to herself. And she attaches the other clips to the side of the metal of the toilet. But I'm going to give you something that's going to rock your world. And just then she presses the toilet seat. And the toilet flushes, and then all of a sudden, his electric comes out of the wires and starts electrocuting him in the chair. And just then, he saw the vision of Sally and fire blowing out of her mouth and her nostrils. And then as she sat there electrocuting, fireworks and fire blew out of the toilet seat. And she sat there and she had fire coming out of her rear end. And she was blowing him down with fire and smoke and electric shocks. And then he woke up from an instant fright. Afraid. He thought to himself, what the hell was I dreaming? He looked upon the bed and he saw water stains. Sweat dripped down from his shirt. His shirt was so soaked and wet. He goes to grab his glasses as he tries to put them on. Frightened, but yet so intrigued by the vision of this very seductive, sadistic woman named Sally that he was going to see in the following hours. John hurries up out of his bed, now having a hunger and thirst for something very, very sadistic. He runs over to the shower. He hops on in. He happily goes and hums to himself, trying to distract himself from all the visions that he had running through his head of Sally. He puts oil on his body. He sprays himself between his legs before he puts on his jeans. He puts a hat to cover his receding hairline and the bald spot that he had in the middle of his head. And he grabs his keys and he goes out of his apartment. He runs to his car instantly with such excitement. He hops on in, he turns the car to the ignition, and he speeds off without an instant, without a thought, without wondering if he would hit anyone behind him, speeding to his appointment that he had for 2:00. He arrives to the front of the building 45 minutes later. Looking at the building, he saw a big blue sign, Sally Services. With such shock and obsession and thirst and hunger for the sadistic acts that he had imagined in his mind with Sally, he gulps his throat. Nervous but yet excited, he gets out of his car. He walks up to the steps. As he saw people walking out, one may appear to be upset as he stomps his feet. But he didn't recognize why. So he goes up and he turns his back and looks over and sees the gentleman that was stomping his feet into the car, highly upset with his fists clenched. He walks in and slams his door and speeds off in an instant. What the hell's that all about? He said to himself. He goes, ignores the whole scenario. He goes upstairs. He sees the front entrance to the door. He goes to take his hand to go across the doorknob, trembling as he tries to open the door slowly. And as he walked in, he came across this scenario that was so comforting. There was a beautiful aroma. Incense inside of the office. The lights were dimmed, and there appeared a young lady in the front, behind a glass, with business attire. So he goes over, he walks up to her. Hi, my name is John Bond. I'm here to meet Sally at 2:00. So the woman types, yeah, that would be $50 for the services today. John goes to reach into his pocket for his wallet as he shivers, trying to look around for his cash. Here you go. He rubs his head nervously. The lady goes and takes the money, typing on the computer. Receives his cash. Would you like a receipt? No receipt. I just want to go back there. I'm ready. That was a really great advertisement that I saw. Sally's really good what she does. I see. I don't need to be in the room with her to know how great she is. Yeah. Well, you can go right in the room too. Right down the hall in the left side corner. She snaps her gum as she tells him to go down the hall. He nervously walks down the hall. And as he walks down the hall, every flashing moment and every vision was of Sally. One vision of Sally with her hair and fire on the tips of her ends as she rolls her hair in the middle of the night and wild and free. Another vision of her as a dragon with fire blowing out of her nose and her mouth, and her tongue is so long it goes far as a mile as it goes and licks him. And then he had a flashing moment of fantasy of Sally as she went to go blow gas and she had fire blowing out of her ass. And then he went up to the room too. And he started having heat flashes. His sweat drops as he tries to turn the door open. Hello? No one was there other than an empty desk, office lights, not what he had imagined in his vision or sadistic pleasures that he had wanted. Oh, hello? Sally? No one was there. So he goes to sit down, wondering to himself, maybe she's out. Maybe the show hasn't started yet. So he goes to sit down as the seat goes to creach in. And he looks over to the right side of him and sees a door that says private. And in his world, in his mind, he thought to himself, that must be the room. Having all sorts of wild sadistic fantasies as he sat there tapping his foot waiting for Sally. Within 5 minutes, he heard a knock on the door. Come in. He pants himself, ready, looking for something that he's been thirsting for, something new, something that he never has felt in this world, something mind-blowing, something painful. And as the door opened, he heard the sounds of heels clapping. He breathes every step she made. He turns his head in excitement. But when he turned his head and he looked up, his mouth faded. There was silence. And then the woman takes her hand out to shake his hand, but he wouldn't shake hers back. Hello, how are you, Mr. Bond? It's nice to meet you today. Bond sat there with confusion, looking at her face. Her eyes were brown. Her skin had freckles and it was darker than we expected. She had gray hair. Hair was up in a professional bun. She looked to be about in her 50s, not as young as Sally did in the advertisement. She appeared with business attire with a long skirt, and her nails were shorter. So, what brings you in here today? I see that you had an appointment. We had to squeeze you in for here for 2 o'clock. So let's get started here. He sits there in silence as she sits there pulling out her laptop, typing. So, before we begin, I need to introduce you to somebody else. Just then, another person walks in through the door, who appeared to be a man named Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard, this is John Bond. He is here for 2 o'clock appointment today with us. Yes. And so, John, I want you to meet with my partner who will be helping you as far as getting you fast relief. I don't. Where's Sally? Oh, Sally. Yes, Sally. I was supposed to meet with Sally today at 2 p.m. Where is she? Well, Sally. We didn't tell you. Sally has other locations. You see, we are her partners, and we help her to serve the clients for fast relief and to fight to help you fight off whatever you need. Okay. But Sally's not here at this location. It's me and Mr. Howard who is going to be working with you today. And just then, with such anger, he thinks to himself, look, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I didn't come here to see you and Mr. Howard. I came here to see Sally. All right? You know, I saw her advertisement. I know about the advertisement. Yes. Yes, and she very much, very tough. She's a very tough woman. So are we. Look. This is not what I asked for. I didn't ask for this. All right? I don't know what's going on here, but I may come here to meet with you and Mr. Howard and have this experience with you guys. I came here to see one woman only. That's Sally. Okay? The woman that was on your advertisement. That's the woman I came for. Oh, you mean her model? What? No. Sally, the woman on the top, is it? Yeah, you mean her model. Well, that's just her model. Her model is not part of our partnership. She has nothing to do with Sally Services Corporation. She is just a model that we had hired for the program, for the services. At the end of the day, Sally, that's not Sally. Look, you guys put on there a woman and then put a false advertisement using a model that's not even here to lure me in to be with two old hags here. What the fuck is going on around here? I came here because I'm frustrated. Whoa, Mr. Bond. Now you need to calm down, all right? We're here to help you. We're trying to help. You're not helping me. Two old hags, 50, 60-year-old man. What do I look like? What kind of fool are you taking me for? I come here and I pay $50 to come see Sally, a woman that you put on there to falsely advertise, alluring lonely men who are desperate, who are sitting here frustrated, and this is how you treat me? Look, you need to calm down. All right? You're getting very upset and you're making me feel threatened right now. Well, you should feel threatened. No wonder that other man looks so upset out here. What are you doing? Look, you need to calm down. Calm down. Let me explain, okay? Now, we provide... No, you're not providing anything to me. All right? Because on your website, you had that woman. And you sat there and you used her to lure me in here just to show me two old hags that I have nothing to do with, that I want nothing to do with.
It said Sally blows hard. All right? It's Sally blows hard. That's what it says. And I came here for a good blow job. And I wanted some free services. And I needed something to help me with my frustration. And you're just sitting here thinking I would want to screw you. You wouldn't even watch your lips to touch me. And what the hell are you doing with a man here in the room with us? It's just then, excuse me, Mr. Bond. I hope you didn't think we were coming into. Hold on one sec, Mr. Howard. Can you please pull up the website, please? Let me look at this. The woman takes the laptop. It says Sally blows hard. That's what I came here for. And I paid $50, not from you or from a man. I'm not like that. I don't go both ways. All right. I want Sally. I want the woman there. I don't give a fuck if she's a model or not. You call her up and have her come here. It's only fair. So then she looks up at Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard, it's not blows hard. Who put that on there? There must be a mistake on our website. She looks over at John Bond. I am so sorry. Not like that. Her last name is Blows Hard. Do you hear me, Mr. Howard? Blows Hard. Blows Hard. BLOUSEHARD. Blows hard. Can you correct that, please? Just correct that on our website. Can you guys tell me what the fuck is going on around here? John, infuriated, face red, fist clenching, in such sexual frustration as he was so let down. Looking for an explanation. I feel like I've been scammed. Look, John, I am so sorry about our website, but that was Sally's last name. What? Yeah, that's Sally Blows Hard. That is her last name. I am so sorry. I don't know exactly how we had that put in. We're really not good with the website. We're so used to giving out business cards. We're quite old school. But Sally, would never had introduced herself in such a way like that on the website. Her last name is Blows Hard. It's BLOUSEHARD. Not Blows Hard. I am so sorry. I think we're coming off to a bad start here. Yes. What's going on? Who are you? Who are you people? What are you making appointments with me for? What is this? Well, Sally. Well, you say blows hard. You said at the end that Sally really blows them off. She blows hard. She's raw. So don't just give me this flack of shit. That's just her last name. Are you trying to lure me off here? No, she really does blows them off hard. She fights hard. She blows off that debt. Just then he looks at her, confused. What? Oh, yes. John, let me just say this. We are a financial debt relief. We provide fast, instant relief for those who are having trouble with debt. All right. We can blow off all those sharks that's after you, that claws your phone and the creditors and all those people. Sally really blows them off hard. She fights hard and she's raw and she's tough. And she has ways of making it where we get that debt off of you. So, if you don't mind, if you do have any debt that you would like us to serve you, make service for, we can get these papers filled out. So if you would like to do that right now, we can get you started. I came here for he looks up at Mr. Howard as he sits there staring at it. I came here for the service of a blow job, and yeah, I understand. I yeah, but that's not what kind of services we provide here. Okay, so we are again, financial debt relief. We provide fast, instant relief. All right. And our advertisement is just a way of expressing how hard we fight. All right. Mr. John looks up. He looks at Mr. Howard. And then he brings his eyes back down to the woman he was talking to. I would like a refund. Oh, I'm sorry. Our our website, on the bottom right corner, we don't do refunds. It's in very small letters. I'm sorry. Well, we have other clients that we have to take care of, and unfortunately, we've already spent so much time already trying to explain to you who we are, our website, and troubles. I am so sorry. But we have to get to the next client. So, is there anything else we can help you with? John gulps his throat. He slowly gets up from his chair, sliding it back as the chair and the foot of the leg screech on the floor. Fists clutched, shaking in anger. He turns his head, walking out slowly. As he opens the door, all the visions that he had of Sally, of this woman with fire blowing out of her mouth and giving him this seductive, sadistic, pleasurable experience that he never felt, has went down the toilet. Then he visioned in his mind so angrily of this Sally, of her burning in the fire of that toilet as the electrical wires goes, and it burns her to death and turns her to ashes as she falls into the tub, into the toilet. And then he flushes it down the toilet in his vision as he's walking, pacing off angry, with sweat dripping down his pores. Just then, two gentlemen walk past him with business attire, and he overhears their conversation. Yeah, that's like the 49th person I heard today about the website. Just then he stops. The website. And he turns his head and he looks over at the man. Did you just say the 49th person with the website? And they turn their heads. Excuse me? Yeah, because I'm the 50th person. I've been scammed. And I would like a refund. Oh. He looks over at the business partner. About that. Did you see the blue sign when you came in for check-in? So he turns his head and looks over at the big blue sign. On the sign is stated, no refunds will be issued at this point. And he thought to himself, angrily, ready to just snap, ready to just scream, ready to just want to hurt people, as his lust and his fantasies went down the drain into the toilet in his imaginations. And just then he got so upset that the middle of his pants developed a big, hard bulge going in, about 10 inches far out. And then the gentleman looked over that it was so unnoticeable they had to look upon him. And then he puts his eyes back up and looks at Mr. Bond. Yeah, you really should go home and take care of that, or something else goes and blows off. Well, thank you for joining us here at Sally Services. You have a great day. The end. That's the end of the end of Sally Services story night. Quite different, but leaves you off wondering what really happened with that 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 services, Sally Services. Who were they really? Were they really a dead instant or fast relief company? Were they scammers? Were they people that were, working for a company that dealt with nothing, but they just pretended to be something, pretend to be a debt relief company, and then they try to say that they were maybe they try to mislead people to thinking they were a porn star company or something. So it relieves the person listening off to their own thoughts of what they think happened, what really went down with Sally's Services. So that's the end of the story for tonight. Moral of the story: lust blinds you. Sure as heck does. Lust can make you blind and make you do stupid things. Oh boy. Well, everybody have a good night. I'm going to finish up my wine here. Take care. Bye-bye.